Hey everybody, Shelly here. How are y'all doing today? It is Saturday. Okay. I am on my walk right now, but it's taken me a while to get to the next step in my video series, so out here walking and clearing my head. So I think we are ready to go. Alright, so I'm on, let me clean that real quick. Okay. So where I left off, I was talking about what happened a little bit in the marriage. It wasn't pretty, the kids were great. Our kids are awesome, and they did very well considering we got divorced. But once we got divorced, the kids were older. They were already teenagers, so. And then some stuff happened with my daughter, and then, things with my son, and he ended up going to a different high school than his sister. He wanted to be with his grandma, so he went to his grandma's, and he went to finished middle school out there and finished high school out there in Bel Air, Texas. So that was good for him. My daughter stuck around with me. She finished her year out at Waltrip, and that was good for her. And she actually came out of middle school 1 year advanced out of Klein, where we used to live, where I had the house. We were in Klein School District, and they tested her and she jumped a year, so she actually graduated a year early. And that was good. That was something that we were happy about for her. So so I want to say she was 14, my son was 13. He's coming out of middle school, finished his last year in middle school in Bel Air, and then went to Bel Air High School. And that was good for him. He struggled a little bit, but he made it through, so that was awesome. I was very glad about that. And I think what helped him too, he was really involved in sports. I want to say swimming. I'm not really sure, but I want to say he started swimming, but I don't know if they finished that. But he definitely did football at Pershing. Didn't go into football in high school. I don't know if he did any actual team sports with the high school, but he did do he did do sports outside of high school. So, yeah, so leaving the marriage, this is 2007, and I'm getting divorced. Everything was finalized in 2008. At this time, I have my own little apartment with the kids. Joe Jr. would come on the weekends. Eventually, he transitioned to where he just stayed out with his grandma. And like I said, I know I did things wrong. I could have did things better leaving that marriage. But, everything's already said and done. And I left the marriage already talking to somebody. And at that point, I was frustrated with the fact that not only was my marriage dissolving, and I didn't know how to forgive at that time, and I didn't feel like I wanted to work on it anymore. I felt like I had given enough and I was done. And coming out, I got the apartment. I was already talking to somebody, and that was good, but for me, I wasn't healed, and that was the issue on my side. I know that's what I did wrong. That, might have led to something more, but because I started heavily self-medicating or drinking, I know I screwed up that route. And number one, I shouldn't have been in that position. Number two, I was there and I shouldn't have screwed it up. But, like I said, things were said and done. And through that time, that was time that their dad was healing and trying to come to grips with what was happening and what had happened to us. And he was trying to make amends, and I wasn't hearing it. I didn't want to hear it. I had no desire to hear anything that he had to say. Like I said, I didn't fight for anything with him. It was a clean divorce. There was nothing to fight over. We were losing the house. We were about to lose, his truck. Mine, I needed it, so, I kept up my payments. He couldn't keep up his end, so we ended up losing the truck. And it was hard. It was really hard. And I'm sorry for I was with this person for almost 4.5, 5 years, and it was hard knowing that I could have did that part better too. And I didn't. Not that I didn't choose not to. I didn't know I was doing it wrong. I honestly didn't know. And I couldn't see past my emotions. I couldn't see past any of it. And that's not their fault. And I don't know if it was truly my fault. Like I said, I should have healed a little bit. And I should have come to grips with what was happening. And I should have handled the whole situation a little bit better, but I didn't. And that really hurt me, and it hurt my kids, because they did enjoy the time with this person. And even to this day, he he still is actively there for them if they need him. And I'm very happy for that, because now, he was a really good friend. And, we became one at one part. And he still remained a friend, which I am very grateful for that the kids are able, they have more outlets to reach out to. Let's put it that way. Um, but yeah, that was that part of that. And then my daughter got pregnant. She was dating a little boy, and at the end, she was slacking a little bit, typical stuff that kids do, skipping school, not keeping their grades up. And she and I had, butt heads for a little while, but for the most part, she was just being a teenager, and I tried, doing a quinceañera for her. I tried my best. And the one stipulation I did have is, you're going to be 15, and that doesn't make you a woman. It's just, us acknowledging you. You're going on that journey now. And that request of mine to not do anything was ignored. So I cut back drastically on her quinceañera. And honestly, and I know she knows, I wouldn't have been able to finish it up by myself. It would have been a really hard struggle. I would have done my best to give her everything that she wanted, but it was just going to be so draining on me, because I pretty much put out most of the money for everything. I asked for, padrinos or people to contribute or sponsors, and I literally got nothing, absolutely nothing, not from my family, not from his family. If at the end when we had the dinner and stuff, people contributed, but to say that I had help securing the hall and her dress and all the other decorations on all this stuff, it was pretty much out of my pocket, and I was just so stressed. And so much trying to figure out how to give this to her, that it was so much. It ended up being so much. And I should have pushed for more help, but I just felt so lost and so alone and so much of a failure. Not just because of my marriage, and not just because of the kids, because of everything. Everything at that point. I felt so alone and so much like I failed everyone. I mean, I wasn't even thinking about myself. There was no time to think about me. I didn't have anything to think about. All I could do was get drunk and hope it all just washed away or something. I don't know. And I don't know how to express to my children how much I wish I did things different. How much the me now could have been that person then. But I couldn't go to my dad and I couldn't go to my mom. And my grandma was gone, and my grandpa, he wasn't gonna really be concerned with what I needed or what I needed to do or talk to me. I really didn't have anybody. I didn't have anybody really to talk to. And then the one person that I thought that was listening to me or was there as a friend, is now it's they're not there anymore, and it hurts. But what can I do? I'm not gonna sit here and cry and ask for sympathy or pity because I don't have any friends to talk to. No. I talk to my husband now, and he helps guide me through some of these feelings and emotions and things, that all these things that I wish I would have did different. Or I wish I would have known to do know to do different. I wish I would have known how to do them differently. But yeah, I wish I could have given my kids the moon. I wish I would have handled my insecurities and my pain differently. Like I said, they're not bad kids at all. They didn't turn out to be bad kids. They didn't get in trouble. They did normal teenage stuff, skipping school, back talking, staying out too late, getting in trouble at school, that they were just kids. And because of everything else I had going on and everything else that happened to me, I couldn't slow down and encourage them more. By the time Norma, my daughter, had her first baby, I was already with somebody else. And I liked the idea of that person. I heard from somebody, I think you like the idea of you guys, because we had so many common interests and, concerts and other stupid things. And maybe I wasn't paying attention to my daughter. Maybe I thought she was old enough to handle her stuff. Or maybe I was mad at her because she got pregnant and she had this kid so young. And I know she didn't like him. And I wish I would have had sense enough as a mom to stop it. To tell this person, get out of my life because you're not good for my kids. You're not good for my daughter. You're not good for my grandbaby. But the baby was a few months old and she met another guy, and This guy promised her, that he would take care of her. And one day she came to me and said she was leaving. And it hurt me. It hurt me to my soul. I was supposed to be there and take care of her. I was supposed to be there and take care of my babies. I just feel like I fucked it all up, All I can say is if you feel like you're in a similar situation, stop and think about who you are. Stop and think about what you're doing. Look outside and then look inside. And see where you can improve yourself. Because sure enough, you'll lose it all. And it could be subtle, like everything that happened to me. And then 20 years later, you're trying to figure out what the fuck went wrong. Or you won't even have a chance to even think about it because you'll be gone. Love you guys.